Hello, gentlemen. Welcome to Gentleman's Caddy. For all those of you who don't know, my name is Junior, and what you see before you here is the XM-18, the Gen 6 here from Hinderer. Now this here being the 3.5-inch variant on the blade, and this here being the sheep's foot blade style here, stone washed, CPM 20 CV blade steel there. And as you can see, the Gen 6 here marked with the tri-way system, not to be confused there with the three-way, if you know what I mean, gentlemen. So I've had about a year and a half now experience with the Gen 6 here, and I thought I'd add my 2 cents in for what it's worth in terms of suggestions there on a new generation. As there were generations before this, there will most likely be generations after this. So there's no exception there. With most things there in life, there's going to be a sequel. So I have three main recommendations here. Now these here are minor in my mind, considering if you've seen my other videos here on this here blade, you will know that I find this here to be an absolute winner. It's an absolute winner in my book. And the tri-way system, as you can see, I changed out on a recent video the bearings to the phosphorus bronze washers, which I do find fantastic on this here knife. It rides fantastic on the bronze, and I'm going to be keeping it here on the bronze for quite some time. I actually like it better on the bronze than I do on the bearings. So that being said, so you can see other previous videos there where I pretty much have a love affair now with the Gen 6. Now, with all things in life, there's always going to be things that you find that need improvement upon, essentially. So the number one thing that I would find on the Gen 7, which would definitely have to be improved upon on this here knife, is the number one comment I get all the time when I hand this here to non-knife fellows there, and I tell them how to engage the knife, is the flipper tab. That flipper tab, it gets the most comments, not only from non-knife people, but also people in the community, in the EDC community. That's the number one comment you see on the XM-18. Why is that flipper tab so sharp? Why does it dig into my index finger? Now, I've over the years have essentially a nice little groove here now from all the use over the years that it just, that it just falls into now. But in all seriousness, gentlemen, there's no reason why it cannot be softened. If on the Gen 7 here, we could just soften that there, it'd be fantastic. I think that would alleviate all the concern there that you see, and that's the number one comment I see here on this knife. Do you like that there, flipper tab there? Do you like the sharpness of it? Well, I don't particularly find it the best feature here on this here knife, but that being said, it can be improved upon. Now, I don't know if Hinderer himself just overall likes the overall form of this here, of the lines here, how it, kind of curves in and matches the curvature there on the handle. But I don't think that would be messed with if you just went in and softened it and curved it a little bit, straightened this here out slightly, just ever so slightly, because as you can see there in the finger, when you go and engage it, it just jabs right into it. Naturally you're coming in flat, straight in on here, and this here is digging curved in here like a horn into your finger. So if we can go ahead and just soften that, straighten it out perhaps slightly, I think that would be a big upgrade to the XM-18, and I think that will alleviate many of the people who don't like or put off by the XM-18, because I think that's a real shame if many people don't use it for that particular reason. So that's just a small item, a small little line item there that can be improved upon pretty well easily there. I'm not sure why it wasn't improved upon on this here generation, but being as what it is, that's my recommendation for the next one there. My second suggestion here would be, this here is a little bit more nitpicky, I guess. When I usually like to break a tool down, I just generally like to have, ideally, just one tool, right, that can break that entire blade in this case down, right? But there are three here. You have your flathead on your pivot here. You have your T6 here on the handle itself, torque screw here. And then you also have a Phillips on the clip. So I'm not sure why the Phillips here for the clip here. Now obviously this here being the tab, the filler tab here, and then your clip here, which you can reverse for tip down if you went in that configuration. But I don't understand, and the other thing I don't understand is why these are extruded and not countersunken flush as these are, which I like. So I'm not sure why that is. Perhaps it's because of the size of them that they need to be that way. There's no other way to get them to be flush, essentially, considering that they're smaller. But I would generally, in my mind, I would rather there only be two on this here particular model. Perhaps that's a theme he was going with, the tri-way system. So he was, you have three ways to change out your bearings there, and also three fasteners. But there's no reason why you could just go down to the two. Because I'd say two here, not the one, which I ideally like. Is because I do really like the flathead here on the pivot here on the XM-18. It gives you that ability to tighten this and loosen this here very nicely in the field. And I even use my thumb, my fingernail here to loosen or tighten this here. As you can see, I mean, you can use anything from your fingernail to a flathead to your coin. So pretty much anything you can get in there to loosen and tighten it. So that's my favorite feature here, at least one of them on the XM-18. And then I like the T6s here. That's good, that works. So I just keep the T6 in the flathead. Now, I don't know why this is the way it is. Perhaps Hinderer has addressed that there in the past, but I would rather them be at least flush, perhaps, and T6 as well. But that's me. Now the third is more in regards to a monetary issue here and your overall bang for your buck, essentially. Now this here being in the $400 to $500 range, depending on where you find it. Generally, I would guess like $425, $450 in that range. Now similar to essentially Chris Reeves' Sebenza or the Unumzan in the $400 to $500 range there, depending on your configuration and your materials. Now with the Chris Reeves, you're getting not only the knife, you're getting a little bit more refined box there. You're getting a cloth. You're getting a little tool there to take the whole knife down. And you're also getting a little bit of oil. So he's giving you a little bit of added extras, essentially, in the box. Now props to Hinderer on the tri-way system, which is obviously the add-on to the Gen 6, which hasn't increased the cost there. But that's essentially what it should have been all along, really, in my mind. So that's what you get in the box. You get the knife and your tri-way system there in the little bag. But if perhaps he provided just a small tool. I know he does provide a tool there already, which in my mind is ridiculous there for $75 for what you get there, just to loosen your pivot and tighten and loosen your Torx here on your handle. I just think that a small little Torx tool and flathead, I mean a simple little single piece here of titanium or stainless steel, and really it does not cost that much to produce. And if he added that into the box there, in my mind, I think that would be a nice overall kit there, especially for new users of the XM-18, for getting new people on board, because I find that helps there if you provide the overall experience there, right, for especially new users. And I think for the overall bang for your buck there. But I definitely, with the tri-way system, you are getting a heck of a lot more for your money here, considering previous generations, which only provided you, that's one of the other concerns, other than the flipper tab, one of the other biggest gripes for most people was the cost. Because really what you're getting at the end of the day is 2 slabs of titanium, G10, well, I have Makata on here, I went on and added the add-on here, and then your blade steel and whatever particular blade that he had offered before, S35VN, I believe, which you could have gotten the same configuration essentially and a Hinderer collaboration from ZT at half the cost. But in my mind, this here is a much more refined knife, especially with the blade softened on all the edges. So you could tell it's a much more refined design and product overall. But most people may see this as unneeded added extra costs. So I think anything added extra there on the box that can be, you know, it can be an extra piece of scrap metal that they cut out of the steel there that can be added or designed as a tool, and you can throw that there on your keychain. And if you see my other previous videos, I keep a T6 and a T8 that were designed by Line Steel for a keychain there, and I use that to disassemble this here, and also a flathead there. I use a single piece multi-tool out in the field, and I've taken this here apart on vacation. So I don't need any tools with me, essentially, other than those things that are on my keychain already. So if Hinderer can just add that on, that'd be fantastic there. And I think that would just increase the overall value of the knife and perhaps bring more people in, to experience an overall, in my mind, an absolute winner with the Gen 6 and what could be the Gen 7 here, with even added extra features and more refined features. But hey, that's just here this gentleman's opinion and suggestions. Let me know, gentlemen, if my suggestions are out of whack. I'd like to hear what you think. Any added extra suggestions, or if you agree with mine, let me know. One more thing before you go, gentlemen. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. From what I understand, it's actually free to subscribe to a YouTube channel. So if you're here, might as well, right? Oh, and also, smash that there like button. Smash it nice and hard, as it tells YouTube you like this here gentleman's videos. Thanks for watching, Junior.